Good evening, everyone. It is 7:30. Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. We now call to order the Historic Town of Eatonville Regular Council meeting. Ms. King, please verify quorum.
Your Councilman Mack.
Here.
Councilman Randolph here. Councilman Daniel.
Hello, Ms. King.
Vice Mayor Washington.
Present.
Mayor Garbage.
Here.
We have our four.
Please stand for a moment of silence, followed by the pledge of allegiance. The pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda with an adjustment for item number 7 to be tabled indefinitely.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right. Ms. King, citizen participation.
Yes. Our first one is Miss Jane Turner. Come to the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I decided I would come here because I was appointed to the board, I believe, in March of 2023. And we haven't had any input from you, Mayor, or any of the council. And so some of the things that have transpired during my tenure on the board, and this is my second tenure on the board. The first time there was a philosophical difference in how we should handle things on the board. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about and emphasize is that as a member of the board, that I hope that the administration is viewing us as partners. That we are an important part of, this is a historic town, has a historic designation, and we are a integral part of this administration. You know that there are funds that are coming in from the trust in DC and from the state. We have funds coming into the town, and we need to be updated. We need to know what's going on, so that when it's time for us to vote on things, that we're aware. I believe there was a grant that came in from the historic trust, and we had no knowledge of it. At the time that we learned about the grant, we were given information, but we weren't given the entire information. Still don't have the entire information as to how much the grant was. We did get some partial information about the disbursement of funds, where the funds went, and we're sitting up there like blindsided. Okay, so this money is available for historic preservation, and we had no idea of what was going on. So I just came up to emphasize that I hope that we will be acknowledged as a partnership, that we are important, to the administration. I hope the administration sees us as such, and that we can perform our jobs and do so for the benefit of the town. This town is very precious. It's a historic site. And of course, all of you know that we're under siege. And when I say under siege, we're under siege nationally. And I might even say globally. We can be wiped out at a minute's notice. And there are factors, there are people that would like to see our historic designation eliminated totally. And we've got to make sure that we work together in unison to make sure that we keep this. This is important. This is important for not just the town of Eatonville, but for the nation, because we are designated as the first one of the first incorporated townships in the United States. And so I just like to like to say thank you, and I look forward to seeing one of you or somebody take interest in what we're doing, and that we can be, you know, when things come into this town that affect the historic board, don't wait until the last minute and expect us to vote on it. And we're not up to date on what's going on. Okay, so yeah.
Ask a question.
Yeah.
Please forgive me, because I always thought that the duties and responsibilities of the Historic Preservation Board were to be, we had a demolition or something that was going to be torn down. We would come and then you guys would look, no, we can't do it because of da da da. So could you please give me in a nutshell
Well,
some of your duties and responsibilities? Because if you're getting funding, then are you able to go in and take a historic home and redo it yourself?
No,
or you
no.
know, can you give me
let me say, we do ask for grants. We have the responsibility of applying for state and even national grants to enhance the town. So it's not just the demolition of property, that's just one particular phase of it. We also, right now, I believe we're undergoing a survey, and our aim is actually to expand the limits of our preservate our corridor, our historic corridor. We'd like actually to have the whole town. The whole town. We just have a very, very small area that was designated historic. And right now, I believe Mr. Fly is doing a survey, but he's basically looking at what we have. And what has happened is we have eliminated a whole lot of our houses and areas that were designated that fell up within that corridor. And so we've got to maintain the integrity of some of it, or we'll be swept away.
I'm gonna ask this board because the CRA, usually the CRA has a little designated area as well. But our CRA, the whole town is designated as the CRA area. Now, what you have in the preservation, I thought you would be included as the whole town as well. So what we need to do is we gotta bring a resolution or ordinance or whatever to make the historic board, and it should be the whole town. I don't know why that wouldn't be automatic, like the whole town is historic. Why would you have jurisdiction over the whole town? So we'll take care of that as a board. I'll champion that to see, take Councilman Back's word, to get that established so that the historic board can be the whole town, not just a particular area. So
Okay, but I think that in order to expand again, the board has to like be in concert.
Gotcha.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Kevin Franklin, Mr. Kevin Franklin. Yes.
Mayor? My name is Kelvin Franklin. My family and I, we reside at 133 Thompson Avenue, Lakeland, Florida. Some of it is in Eatonville. Just want to say. So I'm here tonight, of course, as one of the ambassadors for the Chamber of Commerce. Just a reminder that the state of the chamber event is this Saturday, 133 Thompson Avenue, Lakeland, Florida, from 10 to 1. If you want to have a voice in the direction the chamber is going, we would love to have your input on the surveys that will be available at the event. Tickets or none available the day of the event. So we ask, please reach out to Ms. Levine at the chamber so you can do the tickets. I think Mrs. Randolph has already reached out. She understands the process, but if anyone's interested, please reach out to Ms. Levine. Thank you.
So you're having an event at your spot?
Amen.
Okay.
Yes.
You want to annex it?
I'm sorry.
Are you going to annex it in?
Is there anyone else that's here?
Question.
Johnson.
We'll get this address again, 133 Thompson Avenue.
Waiting for it. And right now, we're.
I'll tell you. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, residents. One, I want to publicly extend my sincere gratitude and thanks to Mr. Presley as the Chief Administrative Officer for your dedicated service to the town. Just want to let you know that I know a lot of times we stand and as residents, it may seem that we're maybe not on the same page. And I would always say to not take those things as challenges, but also as ways that we can all work together and still grow, understanding that we are going to sometimes have differences of opinion. So I appreciate your leadership, your commitment, and your dedication to the town. With that being said, although due to some health reasons, I was not able to make the budget hearings. I have a question. Obviously, we know that we have the temporary, or the mayor made the announcement that Mr. Marlon Daniels will be fulfilling that role. My question is, not kicking you out, but do you have an official end date? And then does Mr. Daniels have an official start date, more so from the perspective of a budget, from the budget standpoint? And then what will be the current salary, or the salary that will be paid to Mr. Daniels? Is there a salary range for the position? And then, does that have to come before council, just to make sure that, again, we talk about the transparency and everything, and also making sure that we stay within the budget, because I saw that and I'm assuming what you approved yesterday was the 10%, which took that position from $90,000 to $100,000 for the year. So the question is, what would be the current salary and what is the range for the position? We spent a lot of time tonight talking about the historic site preservation. I would encourage us to, can we also, when we look at these markers are, they're not even legible. And they haven't been for several years. And we're inviting individuals to come into our town. We say, we want the tourists here. But to be quite honest with you, I would not want to invite anyone to come and go on a tour when you're looking at markers that are not legible. So for years, and then the street signage that comes into the town when we say, welcome to Eatonville, all of that stuff is, to me, easy fixes that can be, where we can put up some new and more clear signage. I will ask the question, what is the status of the question that I brought forth back in November and December and January on the water bill, where we were talking about the charges and discussed the billing per 1,000 gallons, that we know that was the intent of the town. However, the table that was attached to the agenda the night that the council voted for was not indicative of what the intent was. And so if we can get a status update on that as well. Thank you for your time.
We have George Harvey.
I just wanted to mention something to the young lady from the Historic Preservation Board. Nice to meet you, as I've not met anyone here in the council meetings advocating and talking about grants for historic preservation. People are coming here talking about what buildings not to destroy. So, and I don't know if a lot of these things are on the agenda, but we're going at it a lot about these things. Frank helped push through grants like from the National Trust and those things. And if you guys can get grants too, that'd be great. But there are things coming in that are discussed openly here with citizens. And like I say, I'm not sure if they're on the agendas, but it might be a good idea, you know, for some of you guys, because I don't really know what the board is designated to do. I know the name is really cool, but no, it is. But we also, for those of us who are here, and many citizens like trying to advocate for, I don't want to say fighting, but trying to push for certain historic things. This is the venue, you know, that we use, and you'll get a lot of information. You know everything that's going on if you come here and we're doing that. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And that was the last one.
All right. The next item on the agenda is approval of the consent agenda. Is there a motion? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed. All right, consent agenda has been approved. And we are ready for reports.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mayor. To dovetail off the comments and several things. First, I'll start with, I have given and spoken to most of the council today. There is an official date of October 17th that I'll be released, giving that to the mayor for her to proceed from the next part of that. I will, over the next couple of weeks, use some incurred leave time that I have, and then after that date, we'll proceed from there. I'll send that over in writing to the council as well, just so you have it for your records. But it's been a pleasure. Of course, the next meeting will be facilitated with interim CEO from there, but it's been a pleasure to serve the town, and we'll always continue to be an advocate where we can to support the town people. So thank you again for that time to the mayor and council to serve in that capacity. Several things to go to the updates. As it was stated, the master plan meeting is tomorrow at the last hall, 5:30. So please attend for supporting that event. We also have, of course, our CRA meeting this takes place on Thursday. And then I wanted to bring up two other items dealing with staffing. We are working to make sure that we address some of the concerns we heard tonight. One is dealing with the markers, and we've applied for several grants to support that. And we did receive word back from Representative Escamani's office to support us pursuing another appropriations, and we're gathering that information to pursue that. Also, the Recreation Department they're in the process of pursuing the FERDAC grant. That information is being brought up. That's a recreational grant to support a project within. Of course, the 50,000 mark is normal where you get it. That doesn't require a reimbursement. There's a larger amount, but it would require a portion of it being reimbursed or being footed by the town. And so that's being reviewed now. In updating news, of course, we're still continuing to work on the stormwater rate sufficiency study. That's in the hands of the vendor and the consultant that we're working with, the same one that did our impact fees. So they're gathering information, and of course, I work with Public Works in our office to make sure those questions are answered and present that back to the council. And lastly, as we continue to move forward, I did hear a comment about the water rates, and as we stated on last night, I don't know if we need to have a workshop to figure out a direction, but I need a complete direction from the council in order to proceed. As we stated, we asked our attorneys to write their official response for council to review. That'll be his official response. But then if there's a direction that the council would like to pursue with that, that can be discussed in the workshop. So we'll make sure that's on the next meeting workshop to discuss the direction of that. But the official response that we discussed at the time, I've heard several say maybe a rebate or work out something. I will state, Miss Katrina, our finance team have looked in with the Florida Rural Water Association at the potential workings, if there was a rebate and what that looks like. So we have some early figures and numbers on that. She can, I would rather do it in a workshop with the Florida Rural Water, so it's clearly responding to if that's something the council agrees on. But again, that needs consensus or at least a vote.
Yeah, I know it's something that I definitely champion, so I definitely want to move forward with doing a workshop, perhaps one or two, hopefully just one, that way we won't, consistently just be in here. And, I definitely want to move forward with, doing something.
Okay, we just need that full direction, so we can at least workshop it at that point. Maybe there could be a discussion that decides what the final direction is with that. But I'll work with legal to make sure that's prepared to do that. I have received several, and thank you again. We did get the MOU approved for the drone bills, so that's in process. So and for clarity, as you know, all of the services that are provided to the town in will be paid for by the event host, and they will be looking at opportunities to support the town and give backs and so forth from the funds that are raised from that event. I did receive the PEC's Zora Festival MOU. It is now being turned over through our attorneys, and I've given it to our chief to review to start seeing if those matters match. I'm going to suggest we do a workshop next week or next month on that one as well, to talk about the actual space requested for that, because my humble opinion, I think it needs to be changed to make sure, because of the numbers, they're not meeting the standard that will suffice the area that's being requested. Not to hold them in it, but I think we need to shrink it to make sure we address some of the maintenance of traffic parameters that needs to be addressed there. But we'll put that in a workshop, and I've also have a meeting with Ms. Natheri and Mr. McKendricks to talk through those details. So we'll give a direction to the council when it comes to that matter. And next month, and there's already a start, and I didn't bring that sheet in, and I'll try to grab it before we finish. For the record, the National Trust, as it was kind of talked about, there is funding that was set aside for the National Trust to utilize or to hire a company or a consultant to do the historic preservation resource survey. Originally, the historic board was pursuing an actual grant. Miss Tara, and she's not here, and I asked her to make sure she comes back next meeting to speak more about that. The historic board was looking to pursue a grant, but that grant would have took another year to really get through, and there is another process that goes with that. And so Ms. Tara worked along with myself and the National Trust to provide that survey being done, utilizing the funds that were given in grant form to the town from the National Trust to support the town's efforts. And so starting next month, there will be several meetings and workshops with Mr. Enos Davis, who will be leading the charge for that. He's done some work in the area before and worked on some different things from the planning and review and historic preservation side. So he's had several meetings, and I'll make sure a copy of the actual of the actual scope of work, as well as the dates and times for those meetings are available for council and the residents to be a part of that. But this will cover the current mapped out space for the historic preservation area in Eatonville. And then there will also be moments where they'll be able to actually identify areas that's not there, but that will require going through a process with this board to expand or to adjust that footprint. So, but the survey will cover the existing footprint, and as he's going through, he'll identify areas through the meetings that community members may say they want to be considered for that space, and then it has to be approved by council to change that footprint of the current historic preservation site map that we have for the town. So to your question, I know the one we have for CRA covers the whole town. Right. This one was identified in certain spaces. If we're expanding that needs to be approved through council and go through the legal process to do that. And so that'll take place when it comes to that. And with that, I think that's the last one. And I will grab that flyer just so you can have it for your records, or at least so you'll know what those dates are. I believe that's all of it. I want to allow our attorney and then Ms. King to come up with any updates they have for the council's reports.
You're not having any updates. Is there anything you'd like me to speak in particular?
Just about normally the one that's asked, just if there's any.
The same need from, ask you, let me go ahead and scratch it out now as well.
There was one, that would be the first thing I would say.
Don't miss that. I'm pretty sure Mr. Daniel here.
The only thing that I will report out on today is that the candidate packet for the upcoming election for 2026 will be ready for distribution by Monday. Now that I've got my directive from the council. And so it is our objective to make that available online as well as packets to be picked up here at town hall.
Thank you. Councilwoman Randall.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for coming out. I'd like to say that the 3D mammogram event that we had over a week ago Saturday was very successful. We had 30 individuals that were screened, and the group is looking forward to coming back next year in Eatonville. So Eatonville is their prime location, and so whatever we can do to save lives and make things better in our community, that was really a plus. I think the town and the support of their administration and all of those who made this event a success. In looking at the agenda, I did it was an error on my part, basically. But I can address some of the issues on number 6 to the interim CO, Mr. Daniels, on the festival, the production promoter on the package that was submitted. So I won't really go over that in this meeting here. I'll meet with you and you can go over my concerns. But those can be adequately addressed. Okay, thank you very much. And I guess that's it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Nothing to report. I think Mr. Presley hit on a lot of the issues that I've had. Thank you for those that have come out and your concerns. We work together as a team, and have a great night.
Well, like always, thank everybody for coming out, being a part of Eatonville town meeting. It's important that everybody stay engaged what's going on in the community of Eatonville, because I know a lot of times we find ourselves behind the 8 ball trying to figure out what's going on. So I suggest anybody that know anybody to keep influencing them to come out here to these meetings. It's important. On the top of my list, I would like to just give my condolences to anyone that have lost any loved ones. I know we're losing people at a rapid rate. I happened to lose someone this morning actually. That's near and dear to my heart. She was like a mother. Her name is Miss Regina Bolden. I don't know if anybody knows, but it's a good friend of it's the mother of a really good friend of mine, and she lost her life this morning. Freak accident actually. So if you can just keep that family in your prayers, I just appreciate it. And also just great job to the staff. I think you guys do a sensational job. Sometimes we have hiccups here and there, but for the most part, you guys are the engine to this community. You know what I'm saying? Without y'all, there's no us. Just like the citizens. There's no us without the citizens or the staff members. You guys do a tremendous job in just making everything work on a daily basis. So thank y'all for everything that y'all bring to the table, and thank God that we was able to also pass a balanced budget. I know normally, typically in the past, we always have issues and have the rails in the middle of the road, but it went fairly smooth. Thank God. What I'm saying, Mayor, to you and your staff for just adding that professionalism and just having everything in a timely manner, man. It means so much to me to have everything laid out the way it was. So thank you to you and your staff for accomplishing that also. And also I know we heard a few people speak on the cemetery, but the past cemetery that we had over here off of Eaton and Clark. And I had an opportunity to listen to a lot of different voices on last council meeting, and it really touched me in a way that made me make my decision the way I did. That's why I X'd this particular item out immediately, because I wanted to do my homework. That's why I tabled the item, and I would rather table it versus make a vote on it. and it passes. So I'm always do my due diligence and making educated decisions. And that decision was to demolish it altogether. And like I told you guys, and I'm assuring you that it would never come back as far as I'm concerned. Not for me. It won't come back for me. So I appreciate everybody that came out and spoke on that. And also like the spokesman said for the Chamber of Commerce, they're having the State of the Union, it's gonna be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's gonna be at 133 Thompson Avenue in Maitland, Florida, which is around the corner here. So if anybody's interested in coming out, come out, be a part, because the Chamber of Commerce is a very important mechanism in our community that makes us strive also, especially from a business perspective. So let's make sure that we're encouraging them and helping them that, in a way that, we can possibly help them and fulfilling the need of helping us in our community also. And also just congratulations to Mr. Daniels for, just, fulfilling that need of the interim CAO, which is a very important job in this community. Anybody that know anything about being a CAO, the chief administration officer, man, it's a very delicate but very important position, who's over all administration. And just welcome. You know what I'm saying? I know you're gonna do the job that we expect you to do, and that I know you can do. And also, I know October 17th will be our actual sitting CAO last day. Listen, man, thank you for just the professionalism. Thank you for the integrity that you brought to this town with your leadership, your knowledge, your wealth of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Of just helping me out and meeting with me for every meeting. That way I won't find myself in a pickle and trying to figure things out. So thank you for everything that you've instilled and implemented in this community, man. And hopefully we will see you around still. And good luck with all your endeavors, man. And may God continue to bless you also. And last but not least, we're having the master plan meeting on tomorrow. Starts at 5. Am I correct? 5:30. It's going to be taking place right here at Macedonia Church. So I advise anybody that want to know what's going on with our master plan, especially citizens, to be present. It's important that you be present, especially if you're going to be going to voice your opinion about what goes on in this community. This is the future. So if all minds and hearts are clear, that's my report. And y'all have a blessed night.
Thank you. I'd like to just thank everybody for coming out tonight. Plus, Mr. Presley, thank you for your service you rendered with us. You will be missed, but we'll be seeing each other, here and there. But you did hit on something about those markers, that these historic markers that we have in our community. Yeah, I think we talked about this like a couple years ago, and they haven't been touched. So this is something we need to hit ASAP. These markers, like I said, people do come to this town on the weekend.
Before you leave.
We do have people come to this community on the weekend that you guys are not aware of, that walk up down Kennedy Boulevard and walk on these side roads looking at historic sites that we do have. So enriching Eatonville history, we definitely need to keep these things kept up. And with these homes that we have dilapidated, historic preservation, code enforcement, all of us need to give a hand of getting these things done, because I hate to live next door to one of these properties. I'd be sitting here every meeting talking about it, and I don't know why people is not at this meeting that have these kind of properties next to them, because they are in bad shape, and we need to do something ASAP to get these things knocked down. Demo. I don't know how much history there is on it, but nobody on any history, whatever, came to us and say, we need to save this, we need to save that one. Because some of you look right through them. So we definitely need to get these properties taken care of on that end. But I think beautifying Eatonville, that's what I look at it as, not the history part, just beautifying our city. So that's something we need to take place to do it. And my condolences out to all the families out there, lost loved ones. That's something we take for granted sometimes. And be careful what you say politically sometimes, because this world, where the world is coming. You saw the incident happen with Mr. Kirk. That's something that we don't want to see, but we definitely have to be careful, and be aware of your surroundings too when you're out and about in a large group. because you don't know what can happen. So be safe, have a safe trip.
All right, yes, sir.
Before you start, because of that comment, the AG has rendered an opinion on the open carry of long guns in public places. I'm going to ask that our legal and chief work to address what will be the standard expectation if they come into an open chamber with that, because of the way the opinion of the state's AG is reading. It leaves the open opportunity for it. And I'm not legal, but I just want to make sure that's discussed. So
I think I heard schools, government buildings.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
schools,
together,
government buildings is
Like
not
5
allowed.
of them.
So there's still exceptions.
There-
to
that's why I wanted to bring it up.
Yes, and we were talking about that and some of the issues with the opinion. But any place like this, it would still be prohibited. So.
But we definitely, and I need to make sure chief addresses that, so we'll have a standard for the town and expectations that comes to that. I just want to make sure that was on the record as well.
Okay, that's it.
So I think.
Just to piggyback real quick, Regina Bolden, in that same family was Attorney Morale, the previous attorney for the town of Eatonville that passed away. His wife has also passed, and it's in that same family. And that family also lost her brother. I think they just buried him, yeah, last month.
It's so crazy. I just talked to her. That's so.
Yeah, so, so condolences all around that family. I was asked to give you some dates for the Enriching Eatonville's History. The Historic Resources Survey is underway. Tuesday, October 7th from 5 to 6:30 at the Eatonville Branch Library. Also Thursday, October 9th from 5:30 to 7. There will be a Zoom meeting in regards to that. Yes.
I have a few extra flyers. We'll make sure they're posted on all of our outlets.
Also, I was at the AKA sponsored event for new mothers at the Denton Johnson last week. I think like 20 new mothers or newly expecting mothers, who are new mothers, were able to get starter packs for their babies. That was really sweet. Made me want to hold a baby for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Also, this chamber was filled with the SIRCAP. Is that it, Miss? The SIRCAP group, and they filled the chamber. And would you share that group, because this is an example of the partnerships that are out there.
Yes, yes. SIRCAP is one of the nonprofits that has worked with us for several years to help guide us in grant processes and the like. And they're I didn't know how large they were. They're a nonprofit that they started in Virginia, then they came to Florida, and their focus is on water, quality of water in our small communities and Black settlements. And you've seen many of the CERCAT people come and speak to us. They have a high level of expertise. So when we had a busload, I didn't know it was going to be a large group. They had a busload that came in from South Carolina, Virginia, and they were predominantly Black. And what they do is do this work around the southeast of the country. So we were very excited to have them here, and they wanted to see who we were. They wanted to see who they were serving, because they did the lead service line inventory for us. And they're funded by the EPA. So it was just very exciting to see a group of predominantly Black nonprofit group that works in the Southeast with Black townships and settlements. And the mayor was gracious enough to be able to join us and talk about the history of the town. And they were enamored. They want to come back and meet us and work with us some more. So just was very excited and wanted to share that information. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, thank you, staff. Thank you for everything. Mr. President, I would say I'm going to miss you, but your church is right over there and your house right over there. So I think I can find you anytime I need you. But I thank you for everything you've done for the town of Eatonville. And I'm looking forward to all of the talents that Mr. Daniels, and I know y'all shocked. I know you shocked. Close your mouths. We gonna be all right. But I thank Mr. Daniels for taking on the responsibility because it is a worthy responsibility and it does take someone that I know is gonna care and and will protect the town. And that's essential. So thank you for
We say it'll be transparent.
and being transparent. Sandra, this king has something else.
To acknowledge in the record an email was received by Everett L. Fly. In reference to the resolution 2025-20. You all have been given a copy. Copies was given to the public as well. He did ask that this observation be submitted in the record for both the workshop and the meeting.
Okay. All right, so acknowledged. All right, that being the case, it's 8:10. I move for adjournment.
So move.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. We're adjourned. Thank you much. I don't y'all.
Cold and not good.